now that we've gone through negative externalities and the solution to these externalities, we can now go on to positive externalities. So I apologize, one thing I neglected to mention in the recording on negative externalities is that one of your analytical criteria in essays, or in fact in CSQs as well, is you need to be able to state what the external cost or benefit is exactly. So in the case of pollution, when I have a negative externality, my external cost is because these third parties, they may bear healthcare costs due to health complications associated with inhaling pollutants and things like that. So you need to state what the cost is, okay? Whether it's implicit cost in terms of monetary cost, or no, explicit cost in terms of monetary cost, or implicit cost in terms of opportunity cost, okay? So for positive externalities, once again, we're going to set up first our MPC and our MPP. So we are very familiar with this by now, that by the marginalist principle, my free market equilibrium is going to be at this point where MPC intersects MPB, and this is going to be labeled QM. Now, for a positive externality, instead of there being a divergence between MPC and MPB, I'm instead going to have a divergence between MP. I apologize. Instead of having a divergence between MPC and MSC, we are instead going to have a divergence between MPB and MSB. And that is because a positive externality is an externality whereby instead of third-party costs in terms of an MEC, I have third-party benefits, marginal external benefit. So you remember earlier, I have an MPC, I draw my MSC on top and bit further, right? As compared to my MPC. So now instead, we're going to shift the ruler here, go to our MPB. I'm going to shift my ruler on top, and I'm going to angle it like that. Okay? Why is it angled? I think I've gone through this for negative externalities already. It's more or less the same explanation for positive. Okay, so for a positive externality, my MSB, marginal social or societal benefit, is going to lie above my MPB because of the marginal external benefits associated. So this is my MSB, which is equals to my MPB plus my marginal external benefit. And MPC, therefore, is also going to be reflective of social costs. So this assumption that MPC equals to MSC in positive externalities, and also that MPB equals to MSB in negative externalities, is an assumption that H2 econs takes for granted. Okay? You don't need to question it. So please don't worry yourself about that. And once again, what we're going to do, remember, I have this vertical dotted line. I extend it up to the blue colored line. Okay? And this vertical distance here actually is a measure of the marginal external benefits that you get at the free market quantity QM. So the example that the HCR lecture notes use is the market for vaccines. Because obviously, if somebody is vaccinated, not only does he protect himself, but he also allows others around him, others whom he comes into contact with, to benefit. Because they, by virtue of interacting with somebody who is immune to the virus, also gain some form of immunity and are protected from infection. That's why I'm not sure if you remember during COVID, a lot of people said, oh, we need to get our vaccination rate to 90%. Why 90%? Why not 100%? Because the term that was being thrown around during COVID was actually what? Herd immunity, right? Because even if not 100% of people are vaccinated, even if some elderly or children or some immunocompromised people are not vaccinated, as long as most people are vaccinated, they have MEB to society, because other people who are not vaccinated also enjoy this benefit of having the shared herd immunity. That's where my MEB comes from in the market for vaccines. Understand? So, once again, by the marginalist principle, I'm not going to explain it in detail this time because we should be quite familiar by now. My socially optimal outcome is where MSC equals to MSB. So that's going to be this point here. And I'm going to extend downwards, down to here, QS. Okay? So once again, how do I find my dead weight loss? I'm going to have my Q. Okay, fine. Earlier on I started from QS, right? Let's just go from QS, just out of habit. So I go all the way up this space here, that I touch this point. Then from this point, I trace my benefit curve up to here, and then I trace this dotted line down. So this green trapezium, let's label these points A and B, Q, S, A, B, Q, M. Okay, don't memorize the letters. Please don't memorize the letters. Memorize how to derive, because you need to write this derivation in your exam. Okay? Of course, you don't need to take multiple colored pens and trace the trapezium like I have. This is just to illustrate. Please don't use multiple colored pens in your exam. Because ultimately at Cambridge, right, when they scan your script and the old people in Cambridge see your script, they see in black and white. So no matter how many colored Muji pens you use, right, it really doesn't matter to the Cambridge examiners. Okay? So QSABQM, because I have traced the benefit curve or the cost curve. Okay, this is the cost curve, right, from A to B. This is my MSC curve. So this is the total societal costs associated. Because at this point, right, because QM is below QS, less people are being vaccinated than socially optimal. So this is in under consumption. I'm sorry if I'm jumping around and missing some things here. It's late at night and I'm tired, so really, really sorry about that. But I hope you get the information. And then I want my total social benefit, right? So once again, I go up to point A. Instead of tracing the cost curve, now I want to trace the benefit curve. So I trace here. And then I go down. So this yellow trapezium, QSACQM. Now, because I've traced the benefit curve, this is my total social benefit. So can you see that it's the converse of the situation we had earlier, right? Instead of my cost exceed my benefit, now my benefit exceed my cost. That's why it's a positive externality. It's good. I have more benefits than costs. So my dead weight loss is going to be area A, B, C. Do you need to shade the triangle? No. But Hua Chong prefers if you do for whatever reason. So let's not question Hua Chong, okay? So that's it for positive externalities. And of course, your solution to positive externalities is going to be subsidies, which I will cover in a bit.